Coming to you live this week from Piedmont Park in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm your host, Kelley, and if you think you're a normal person, welcome to the Normal Person Podcast.
Some people act like normal's a four-letter word, but most of us want to be normal. To sit and talk for a bit about it, whatever it is. Are you okay today to press play? Is there any other way to be normal?
On this week's episode, we sit down with passing strangers to dive deep into their subconscious and share not just what they dream about, but what they think their dreams are trying to tell them.
Standing in front of a crowd and I'm performing. 30 to 50,000 people out there.
I remember talking to this person, who I don't even know, I could see this person's face clear as day, but I've never, either spoken to or seen this person.
So I'm in a big, dark, IMAX theater. Darth Vader is on the screen.
Lately, I've been dreaming a lot with my mom. I think it's because I'm far from her.
It was like this giant trying to kill me, around the house.
Last night I just kept having a dream about him. He kept being in the dreams. I'm like, what does this mean,
As we prepare to embark into the many weird and wonderful dreams of this week's guest, I also encourage you to try and reflect upon what happens in your own dreams. Do they involve familiar places and people? Are they often filled with scary nightmares? Or, if you're anything like me, do you seem to forget your dreams only a few seconds after waking up? Speaking of dreams, I think we've been spending too much time in the real world already. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce you to the first guest of today's episode, who shares with us his secret for falling asleep in under 30 seconds.
Hold on. I just blanked on your name. You said
Gerald.
Gerald.
Yes.
So what do you do for a living?
I'm actually in the military.
Oh, okay. What branch?
I'm in the Air Force.
Well, thank you for your service.
Appreciate it.
So I imagine being in the military, and I've heard this before, that you have a method to go to sleep really quickly. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So first, I'm interested in that. What's your secret?
So you close your eyes, you focus, and then you take 3 really deep breaths slowly, and then you exhale the last one very slowly, and usually by that point, you're about to sleep.
How slowly? I have ADHD, so this is going to be a challenge for me.
Let's say maybe a 5-second inhale, 3 of those, and then you hold it. Exhale. Usually you can fall asleep pretty much instantaneously afterwards.
So you've never had an issue really with falling asleep?
No.
Wow.
No.
Okay, so when you do go to sleep...
I'll admit, I have my own struggles with this particular method of falling asleep. So after Gerald tried to walk me through every single step in detail, I was fairly curious to hear what kind of dreams this active service member was having each night after he let out his third and final exhale.
Okay, so when you do go to sleep, do you dream at all?
Of course.
What do you dream about?
I don't really dream about anything. I think my dreams are more sporadic and random. Maybe a cue back to something that has occurred in the day. But as far as truly memorable lucid dreams, I don't really have those.
Okay. Do you dream often?
I would say no, actually.
Okay.
I'm kind of one of those, I go to sleep, and then alarm goes off, and I woke up, and it's there's a congruency between it.
You clocked into your second life, and then, that's the other you, and then you're coming back to this one.
Absolutely.
Although our new friend Gerald didn't have much to offer in terms of the substance of his dreams, it wasn't long until our mobile podcast setup started attracting passing strangers with truly memorable dreams to share. One of the first guests to dive deep into their own dreams with me was a man by the name of Jacob or Alexander. We actually never came to a consensus on his podcast alias. But you're in for an auditory treat, because this guest also has one of the most relaxing, dulcet, pitch-perfect English dialects I think I've ever heard. But go by Alexander. Can I call you Alexander for this?
They'll go 25 years of my life. Sure, if you want to call me Alexander for this, why not?
Okay. I'll interchange between Jacob and Alexander.
So sick. That's so sick, actually.
When you go to sleep, do you dream at all?
I don't dream often, but when I do dream, I try to pay attention to it because I feel like it doesn't
happen often.
It doesn't happen often. Or if I do, I just have no recollection in the morning.
Right.
And then a lot of times when I do dream, it has to do with either someone or something that's stressing me out in life, but it blows up.
In what way?
Recently, I just 3-4 months ago broke up with a girl that I thought, you know, I was going to marry, whatever. And like since then, right after I would, you know, have dreams about her, this and that. But then what would happen is now every time I dream, I'm in a different place or like doing something different and she's there.
That's...
Like
how does that make you feel?
I don't know. I don't know. Because like the dream might not have anything to do with her.
Right.
Like I could be... Like there was one recently, like I was literally in a bakery. And I was just making pastries. Like someone came in, I remember talking to this person, like who I don't even know, like I could see this person's face clear as day, but I've never like either spoken to or seen this person.
Right.
And then she like walks in, but then my dream switches. And then right after that, I'm like on a boat and I'm literally like driving the boat. And then I was in a library and it switched. And then that specific like...
If there's one common theme about dreaming that I notice while recording today's episode, it's that dreams are kind of all over the place. I mean, I think everyone experiences what I'm about to describe a bit differently, but I'm talking about the experience of transitioning through different settings and talking to different people, all in the same dream. Our next guests, Joy and Cathy, both experience this transitory feeling, but they each have their own unique perspective on why this might be happening to them.
So Joy, Cathy,
Yes.
you said that you like to sleep.
Yes.
You like to sleep?
Yes.
Okay.
Not as much as her.
That's a great segue. I'm going to remember this for everyone I talk to today. What do you dream about?
I think it's all people that I deal with in
Gotcha.
like my current life.
Are your dreams really skippy? Like I'll be here and then I'm there. And then I'll be there and then I'm here. It'll be raining and then it's sunny.
Sometimes. If I wake up and then go back to sleep, it's like the same dream, just in a different place.
Interesting.
Which is bizarre, because like I woke up for a reason. And there's sometimes where I'm like, did I really dream that?
Yeah.
Interesting. Seems like no one remembers their dreams, but you remember elements of it, you know, like certain things. But it doesn't ever necessarily like make sense.
So I heard one time that like our brain dumps it because it deems it unimportant. Could you imagine if we remembered every dream that we ever dreamt? Like our brain
There'd be
deems
no
it
reason.
unimportant.
We
so it
already
dumps it.
have like too much information to
Yes.
absorb.
And I also heard like dreams are our brain trying to make sense of our thoughts that we're thinking while we're sleeping. So like that's why things don't make sense. That's why it's here
Just
and then there and then
processing,
there and
yeah.
then here.
The more people I talked to and dreams that were shared, the more I started to realize what Joy was saying was making a lot of sense. Though, as you'll see in our next few guests, sometimes our brain's method of processing our thoughts while sleeping can also serve to remind us of the things and people that matter most.
Do you have dreams?
Yeah, I have dreams like every night. Sometimes I don't remember. Some things I do remember, but my dreams just be so crazy and wild. Like,
Well, give me an example.
let me see. Last night, like I'm going through a disconnect with a friend.
Okay.
And like sometimes I wake up out my sleep, like in case I gotta turn over, I gotta go use the restroom, and like it be different dreams. But this time it was like I just kept dreaming about him, and I woke up like 3 or 4 times, so it was like 5 dreams. I kept dreaming about him, so I'm like, what the, you know?
Yeah. So reoccurring a little bit.
Yeah, it's like we just had like this disconnect like 3 weeks ago, and I think about him like nonstop, like whether it's good memories, bad memories, and just like I don't know, you know. And last night I just kept having a dream about him. He kept being in the dreams. I'm like, what does this mean, you know?
Okay, Angie, this is the Normal Person podcast. What drew you in?
I mean, I just been here for a month in the USA.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Argentina.
Okay.
Today I say, okay, adventure day. I'm living in Marietta.
Nice.
And I came here in an Uber and say, okay, let's flow and see what happens. And I saw this and I say,
Perfect.
I mean,
Is this what you like to do for fun? Is just explore things?
yeah, I love doing new things.
Okay, cool.
And I love to explore nature. I need friends also. It's really hard.
It is hard to make friends. Yeah. That's kind of why I'm doing this a little bit, is to get to know people. Well, I feel like we've gotten to know each other a little bit. Let me ask you something. When you go to sleep, do you ever dream?
Yeah, a lot.
Wow.
I mean, we all do.
Yeah. What are your
But
dreams
just-
like?
Crazy things.
Give me an example.
I don't know. Just, I can't. You know, there's a mechanism you must know about the repression about dreams. It's like a party of the inconsciente that is like,
Yeah.
And then when you woke up, it's like
Yeah.
hiding
Yeah.
everything.
Do you ever have like stress dreams?
Yeah, lately I've been dreaming a lot with my mom. I think it's because I'm far from her.
Yeah.
I dream that she died, that she had cancer again. It's like, oh, stop.
Yeah.
I'm feeling guilty probably.
When you have those types of dreams, can you remember them well, or do you forget them when you wake up?
I remember just when I woke up, and then of course they start fading away until if I don't write them or talk, they're gone.
They're gone.
For most normal people, like our new friend Angie, a bad dream will just fade away as soon as you wake up. But for an unfortunate few of us, a bad dream can happen not just twice in a row, but the majority of the time you go to sleep. As you'll learn from our next guest, it's not always apparent why certain people, places, or themes find their way into our dreams, especially our nightmares.
So I have recurring dreams where I remember what my dream was like the previous time, and I change my actions. I had this dream, I haven't had it in a while, thankfully, but this one recurring dream that I have frequently is that I'm in an airport and I'm behind everyone else and I'm rushing to get to my gate. I'm rushing to catch up with the group that I'm at, and an earthquake happens and the whole airport is like falling to pieces and we have to find a way out. And every time I've had the dream, I take a different way out because like it'll end where I'm getting crushed and I wake up and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just died in this dream.
Oh my God.
But it's like one time we took the escalators down, and then the next time I was like, no, the escalators failed us. So then we go down the stairs and then we get out and then we're at the car and then like a building falls on the car. So the next time I do in the dream, I go a different way.
Wow.
And then like, we get a different exit out of the airport, things like that.
There's a lot of layers in that answer. What is if you can remember, your favorite way of escaping this dream? Do you have one where you're like, wow, that really worked out well that time? Or is it always catastrophic?
No, that's a good question. I mean, the like happiest ending to it is when we're like, we like have, it's like a car with the top down and you're like, like going on the road to the beach.
Oh, cool. So there is a happy ending.
There is, yes,
Okay,
not
cool.
every time.
What do you think brings you to an airport in your mind?
The simple term for it is just like FOMO. I fear missing out all the time. I'm just always constantly like, what more could I be doing? What more could I be experiencing? What more could I be seeing? Who are more people that I could be connecting with? And I think that kind of plays into just this like recognition that there's always more to life, that there's like greater meaning, there's greater...
While our new friend Kirk believes his dreams are rooted in the underlying fear of losing connections, our next guest shared a recurring nightmare that isn't as easy to make sense of. Although it might not be that long until this particular nightmare makes its way to an IMAX movie theater near you. You'll see what I mean.
So around what time do you go to bed? We'll start there.
Oof. What time do I go to bed?
Yeah.
Yikes. Like probably like 1:30.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so when you go to sleep around 1:30, how often do you have dreams?
Half the time, probably.
Do you remember any of them?
Yeah, some of them.
Could you maybe give me an example of one that stuck out?
Okay. So I've had this recurring dream for a long time now.
Okay.
I'm in a big, dark, like IMAX theater, and Darth Vader is on the screen.
Okay.
It's Darth or Dark?
Darth.
Darth.
Yeah.
Darth.
Yeah.
Um,
Could go both ways, though, if you wanted to.
And he, like, breathes. You know, have you seen Star Wars?
Yeah.
He, like, breathes, and it's like...
Yeah.
And for some reason, he's, like, up on screen, like, breathing like that, and it's so creepy because I'm all alone in the theater. I really don't know what it means.
How long has this been happening?
A long time.
What do you mean by that? Let's quantify that.
What if I said since childhood?
I believe it.
Well, I guess I'm still a child. Just kidding.
So since childhood, you remember having this IMAX?
Yes.
This is interesting because I talked to someone that has reoccurring dreams in the same location. What do you think it is about the IMAX that makes you...
Like I said, I'm alone in the IMAX theater. Isolation.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you can like escape it? Are you just like stuck?
No, I'm stuck. And then the only time that it the only time I escape is like when I wake up.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a vibe. What's so funny is I have not watched a lot of Star Wars.
Okay.
But what's scary about it, I don't know. You just don't know who that person is, like, in the mask.
Yeah.
And he, like, has, like, a vocoder on his helmet or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's just scary because he's on the moon.
Oh, you didn't mention that.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
on the moon, and, like, you can see, like, the craters in the background. And so not only am I isolated in the IMAX theater, but we're on the fucking moon together.
Yeah, that's pretty isolated. Yeah.
I'm scared.
I'm sorry if you have this dream tonight. Like, I really apologize.
No. It happens often.
Okay. Do you take anything away from these reoccurring dreams outside of being scared of them? Do you feel like it's processing anything?
I don't know about processing anything, but it's been so long that I've been having this. So, like, I have learned to ignore it.
Okay.
I think that carries over into my real life, where I'm like, when something bad or scary or dumb happens, just let it pass. Or, like, ignore it. Bad stuff, I don't know what I can say on this podcast.
You can say whatever you want.
Stuff happens, and then there's always something, like, you always feel better after.
It's like cathartic a little?
Cathartic, one hundo. Have you ever heard of Young Pablo? So he's an author.
Okay.
And he has a podcast too.
Cool.
Haha. One of the things that has stuck with me that he said is like, okay, nothing lasts forever. So if you're having a wonderful, amazing time, take it to heart, enjoy it. And then the opposite of that is when you're having a terrible time, aka this dream, I'm asleep, I can't do I'm like on the moon.
Right.
It's also gonna end. So you can take that and say like, oh, like tomorrow or like the next day I'll probably be feeling a lot better. So like I said, I just have learned to ignore it, but in the way that's like something good will come after it.
Okay.
I'll wake up. So it's a metaphor.
It's like a yin and yang thing. It's like you gotta have the bad to have the good.
And the takeaway from this is everything ends.
I like that. And especially a dream.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't end, you're dead.
Literally.
Yeah. Okay.
As this conversation with my new friend and fellow Charlie XCX fan, Pablo, came to an end, I started thinking about what he actually had said in our conversation. Everything comes to an end, especially the worst nightmares our dreams can possibly conjure. But what if our dreams didn't have to end when we woke up? As you'll hear from our next and final guest today, a powerful dream you have while asleep can also serve as motivation, inspiration, and even lyrical material in the real world. Let's just get to know each other a little bit. Tell me a little bit about your music.
Well, recently I was incarcerated.
Okay.
And I went viral for shooting a music video in prison.
Really?
So,
what was that like?
That was different.
Okay.
You feel me? It was a different experience, but I made the best of my situation, and I shot a music video in there, and it went like super viral. Like, I got 300K views on my Instagram. I got another 200K views on WorldStar, 250K views on YouTube and TikTok. So I got like over 1 million views off that one freestyle, that one music video.
Yeah, actually, hold on. Let me ask you about that if you don't mind. What is the process of doing that? Like, how do you get away with that?
This was during COVID time, so a lot of guards had quit. So the prison I was at, it was maybe like 3 guards worked the whole night shift, and it's like 8 buildings.
Really?
So they can't be everywhere.
Right.
You might not see another officer for like 2-3 hours. So you got good window space to do what you got to do.
Okay.
Feel me?
In this music video, did y'all do it in one night or like?
Yeah, I did it all in one night.
How many people helped you?
It was probably like 20 people in the video. There was a lot. I had the whole building like in the video.
Do you feel like in prison you felt like kind of supported in doing that in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's very inspirational. So
really?
I inspired a lot of people to do music and just do something better with their time, like write music, read some more books. I seen people in there start a podcast from in prison.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I need to set up in a prison if they let me in. So let me ask you something. Do you dream when you go to sleep?
Yeah, I dream about just a different lifestyle, the one I'm living now. Financially stable, more healthy.
Okay.
Of course, I probably own like more land because I want to get into real estate outside of music and acting. So I just dream, and when I wake up, I put forth the effort. You got to put forth the effort every day. Even when you go viral, you still got to put forth the effort. You got to get up and go to the studio. You got to write. You got to be on time. You got to perform. You got to control your breathing when you're rapping, when you're performing, when you're moving around. It's not easy as it seems. So you got to put the work in. For anybody that's trying to be successful,
Yeah.
you got to put the work in.
Do you feel like your dreams play a big, like your actual dreams going to sleep, play a big part kind of manifesting your dreams in real life?
That's manifestation.
What's a really good example of a dream you've had where you have had this vision of what you want in the future? Do you have a dream that you remember specifically?
Matter of fact, I can say one that sticks out because it's happened multiple times. I'm standing in front of a crowd and, you know, I'm performing. 30 to 50,000 people out there.
Is it first person, like you're seeing through your eyes?
Yeah, I'm on stage. I'm watching them.
Okay, cool.
They rapping it word for word with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You said 30, 50,000?
It might be overseas.
Really?
You never know. Yeah, England,
Yeah.
Amsterdam.
Honestly, or like South America.
They love it.
Yeah, crazy. Well, I appreciate you talking to me. Interesting,
problem.
your dreams, like the crowd element of it. Someone else said that they
Yeah.
they have a dream that they're like the president and they're just like speaking in front of this big crowd, but they like it, they want it.
Even if they're not the president, they might be the vice president. They might be somebody close to the president.
Real quick, I don't know if you said it, but where can people find your music?
You can go on all over Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok. You type in True Story Sancho.
True Store Sancho?
Yep,
Okay.
Sancho.
Okay, cool. It looks like that's a wrap for episode 2 of the Normal Person Podcast. This week, we heard some truly unique dreams from a variety of incredible normal people. Some dreams were whimsical, some were intense, some were nightmares, some were a little unnerving, but every single story brought us a little closer to understanding the mysterious realm of our subconscious minds. Thank you again to all the incredible guests who shared their stories with us today. And thank you, wonderful listeners, for tuning in and joining us on our second episode. If you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you're listening on Spotify, let us know in our Q&A box what you dream about. Or feel free to also tell us about your dreams via email at normalpersonpod@gmail.com. We'll be featuring our favorite responses this week on social media, so write in fast and follow us if you haven't already on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. Until next time, may your nights be filled with restful sleep and your dreams full of wonder. This is Kelley Boston, signing off. See you next week.